What is going on, everybody? My name is Antonio Montero. In this video, I'm gonna give you all the behind the scenes, everything we do to manage a $100 million operations in ClickUp. I'm gonna show you all the tricks I have under my sleeve. Literally, I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'm even gonna show you my actual account. And by the end of this video, you're gonna learn exactly not only how to master ClickUp, but also how to become a master delegator that will buy back your time, make more money, make more profits, and have more freedom. So without further ado, let's get going. First, I just would like to show you some proof that I know what I'm talking about. I'm actually a ClickUp verified user. For you to get this, you have to spend a lot of hours in the platform. You have to build a lot of stuff in the platform. So I'm just not speaking out of my ass. I actually know what I'm doing. I don't use Notion. I don't use Asana. I don't use any other platform. This is not a video just to get YouTube views. This is the only platform I use. This is the only video on project management that I'm gonna do. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to set up the best possible workspace in ClickUp and why I think it's better than Notion or any other tool. So without further ado, what I want to show you guys here is just start with the ClickUp page and just share some honest thoughts on these claims they're making. So one app to replace them all, I think that's BS. You're not going to be able to replace everything unless you're happy with average-ish apps to do the things that you're doing, or you're in a tight budget. Definitely that's going to help. But from personal experience, some of these things that are in the ClickUp platform, like their whiteboards and things along those lines, their chat isn't really that useful, right? Because chatting, normally people use Slack. I use Slack. The whiteboards, they are very glitchy. They are not that good. The UI, it's very poor. So we've tried using it in the past, didn't like. I typically just use Canva for whiteboards. Dashboards we use a lot. AI we use relatively a lot, right? It's not that much, but it is very helpful. Forms we use as well. Sprints I don't really use because I'm not a tech person, but I mean you can definitely use it. Documents we use a lot. It's very helpful. Time tracking, we time track a lot in the platform, so we use almost 99% of the functionalities. And everything they're saying here, it's pretty accurate. You can have a lot of visibility on the things that you're doing, especially if it's a work environment. You're going to be able to have a good amount of data on the people that are working, the people that are not working, and you're not going to leave anything to the assumption that if they're doing it or not. You can build some automations. Honestly, the bulk of our automations in ClickUp aren't necessarily through the platform itself. We heavily rely on Zapier to do a lot of our automations, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. It's going to be an amazing video. So it's actually not a bad platform for the price you're paying. It's definitely worth it. And what I want to do in this video is just sign up for a trial account and actually show you more of the behind the scenes on the account that we use to manage a $100 million operation. So without further ado, let's click here to sign up. I'm just gonna put an email over here. And then here, you can, name your workspace, whatever. I don't really want to have to explain this. Just select your image, select your color, answer these questions here. If you're coming from a different platform, they actually have a migration tool where you can bring your data from Monday, I'm pretty sure, Asana. There's other platforms you can just bring your data. That's probably going to help you speed up the process. But if you don't understand the platform, it can actually cause more harm than good. So let's make sure we're understanding the platform first. I'm just gonna put no thanks, and then set up the workspace. And I'm gonna, while it's setting it up, I'm just gonna explain the thought process on building a workspace in ClickUp. Basically, what you want to do is you have your workspace. You want to break down the spaces within the workspace as departments of your business, and then inside each space you can create, I'm actually gonna add here one more thing that you can create, which are the folders. And then inside each space you can have more than one folder, and make things very organized. And then like, this is how I typically set up the workspaces, so that you have an idea of how to go about setting it up your workspace. So that's the main way I would organize the platform departments. And then within each department you can create folders for specific purposes. And then inside the folders you can create lists, put documentation, dashboards, etc. So let's see here how it looks from a overview, right? So basically you have a space here, and then you can see all your spaces here. You can see everything that you have over here. Here's your home folder. I'm actually going to show you from my ClickUp account, where it's like pretty dialed in how everything works. So first thing that I want to show you is actually how to create a task. So one thing that I'd like to set up on my ClickUp account, it's hotkeys. And then one of the hotkeys that I like to set up, it's to press T, like to create a task. So I like to do that. I don't know why it's not working on this account, but if I go on this account and I press T, it's just gonna give you the option to create a task. And what I want to walk you through, I'm just gonna show you here on my personal list. It's how to think about task creation in a way that not only helps you get more done, but also allows you to buy back your time, make more money, have more freedom, make more profits, because you're going to be able to show somebody exactly what they need to do in order to execute on the task that you would like them to do. All right. And if you're not sure about what needs to get done and you hire somebody to do it for you, you can also share this template with them, so they build the actual task template for you. So the way that I go about creating tasks here in ClickUp, I'm just going to create one task here, and I'm going to open, and I'm going to show you the must-dos, the things that I must have on every task, and I instruct my team to put it on every task. So first thing is the due date. Typically I don't use start dates, I just put the due date, but it's going to come down to personal preferences. Sometimes as you onboard a client, you have a specific start date of the agreement, and there's sets of tasks that you need to accomplish within each day. So it may be relevant for you. For me, it's not relevant. So I'm not actually going to share. I'm not going to highlight the importance because it's not being helpful for us, but there's definitely a use case, right? But one thing that is a must is due dates. So people need to set up their due dates on the tasks. They need to assign to somebody so that the task is just like not in the limbo, right? There must be one person responsible for finalizing that task every time. And then there must be a priority attached to the task. How important is that task as well? It's important. But the priority would help you build what I typically use to manage my ClickUp. It's an Eisenhower matrix. So Eisenhower, I'm butchering this. I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to write. So pardon me. But basically, the way that I set up my ClickUp, it's to help me identify the things that there needs to be done, the things that we can schedule, the things that I can delegate, and the things that I can eliminate. Within a business, I always think about what can I automate, what can I delegate, and what can I delete? Because it's not just about adding things, it's about making sure the things that you already have there are actually helping you. Automation, it's great, and delegation, it's amazing. So I always think about that, and the Eisenhower matrix allows me to visualize this in my ClickUp in a very helpful way that I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in this video. So first off, the thing that you need to set up is your tags. So you need 2 tags here that will allow you to set up an Eisenhower matrix. It's important, and what I put is also very important. And then if you think about the way the Eisenhower matrix works, they have an important and non-important, urgent and not urgent. And here we have priority, which is urgent, high, normal, low. And here we have tags, which is very important and important. So if you combine these two, you can get closer to the prioritization matrix that would allow you to create a ClickUp account that works to help you instead of confuse you. And then one thing that I set up on my account over here, it's templates. And templates are a very important and powerful thing to set up in ClickUp. And one of the templates that I've built to help my team maintain a certain level of quality standard in the platform, it's the simple outcome focused template. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why it works and what to do. So the simple outcome focused template is what it will allow you to create a task that can be easily replicable, understandable, follow along, and then it give you the outcome that you actually want as if you were doing, or just allow you to not be held hostage of anybody on your business because they are the only person that knows how to do a specific task. You can ask them to create a simple outcome focused task template for that specific task, and then you'll be set free. So basically how it works is like I create this, and then let's say create new dashboard. And then what I do, it's I always assign somebody, I assign a priority and assign a due date, right? And then walking you through the steps, I always include the assets required in order to execute on the task. So the person is not asking like, oh, what tools do I need? Like, what access do I need? Where is the sheet? Where is the document? I just put everything in here. Like, you're gonna need ClickUp, and then I put like this list, and then I put the list here, like highlighted, or you can just press this to actually add a list. And then like let's say if we use Google Workspace, account X, and then like Slack, channel Y, you just want to put all the information they need. Okay, I have to have these assets right in front of me to execute on this task. And then you want to share the outcome of the task. So it's like the outcome, it's to create a dashboard that shows cash flow, that shows profitability inside this specific list in ClickUp, and it's updated every day by this time of the day with this data, right? Clear. So you want to set up the outcome of the task. The outcome, it's like I need that dashboard that does this. And then you can also add like image examples or some sort of like that looks like this. People like to visualize as well. And it's easy because if you visualized something that you like, you can just have the person adapt to your business and it will be closer to something that you want. So I put the outcome here. And then I also put what needs to be done. I'm a huge fan of recording Loom videos. I record a Loom video for all the processes that I do, because what I do is whenever I record this video here, I copy this transcript and then I go to ChatGPT, and then I ask ChatGPT based on the transcript to create a SOP in Markdown that would allow me to share the outcome that I want in the task. And then I copy this Markdown over here, and then I go to ClickUp. In the step-by-step execution, what I do is I typically just get Markdown, put it in here, and then read it, everything, just to make sure it makes sense. and then just leave it there, right? Just to help them see that, this is exactly how to execute on the task. But if you just want to add a Loom video, that's also like very fantastic. This is the definition of done. This is something that I've learned from Dan Martell on Buy Back Your Time. And basically the definition of done allows you to, well, show exactly like crystal clear, transparent, what needs to get done on that task. So I'm just going to show you an example here. I think I made a mistake here in the grammar, but basically define what done means. So for example, if the task is buy a whiteboard for the office, write the DOD as this task is done when the whiteboard is hanging on the wall in my office. There are 4 colored markers, red, green, blue, and black, and there's a dry erase marker handy. This is how the outcome of the task should look like when it's done. So you need to explain exactly what you need. You need to be crystal clear. You need to start with the end in mind so that the person executing on this task is going to get what you want, right? We get in the habit of thinking that like when you delegate something, it's just going to get done exactly as you want it, but you're a unique person. So there are things that maybe you're not putting on the task, ways of thinking, ways of connecting things that are required in order to get the outcome that you want. So you want to put the definition of done as close as possible. What to do when the task is done. So I always like to ask my team to put all the information of what to do when the task is done in the task, like the Zapier automation, the dashboard, the data, how it's being tracked, everything they did, a Loom video, all the context needed for me as the person reviewing the task to analyze what it's been done, provide feedback, and determine if the task is completed or needs iteration. And then what they need to do next is to add it to the in review stage. And who to reach out for feedback, it's reach out to Antonio, and you can even be a little bit more precise and just put it in the channel that you want, so on Slack. And then basically these things that I put it in here we're not using that much. So like you can put custom fields that are required for your business and the task, and that's going to allow you to create the task with a lot of like the necessary information. So for example, you can add a summary, a progress update with AI. Excuse me. You can add formulas. You can add, let's say, links for a website, for a Dropbox folder, etc. So it's very interesting to use that. And then you can also create subtasks for a task. 1 second. Subtasks are, let's say, for example, you have a client that you're onboarding and you have a onboarding process that would require setting up a website. The main task could be set up website for person X, right? And inside the main task description, there's all the tools, everything that needs to happen. But the first step is to get access, let's say, to the customer's data, the customer's WordPress login, for example. So you want to put like the first task here. Let's just keep the finance example. So the first thing to build this finance dashboard that you can just put it in here, it's like, let's say, connect with CFO, connect with the person that handles the finance and collect, all the costs and incomes, right? Or even better, like once you finalize recording this video, what you can do, it's in ChatGPT, you can ask to actually create a set of subtasks based on the information that you want. Or you can use ClickUp AI over here to just create a set of subtasks for this outcome, for example, and see what it does. So we can give you an idea of how to get it going, right? And then you can create the subtasks over here, and then you can also use the suggestion of subtasks over here. All right, and you can either use this or not. So when you create the subtask, basically it's a new task that is created over here, and you can add different assignees, different priority, different tags, different due dates for it, and it would allow you to have a better understanding of the progress of the task, because as you are completing this, what will happen here in the task, it's going to show you the progress. So if you have a website build out that you need to do to a client, you can add all the subtasks required in here, and you as the person managing, or you as the person building, you can see how much closer or further out in terms of delivering you are at, what is the deadline, and better determine what needs to happen in order to get you the outcome. So task templates are a killer. I would highly recommend. This is how we use. This is why we do it. And then once you finalize this, you can either add a template over here by just going on templates, and then save it as a template. You can put a template name, description. You can add a tag, maybe like department related tags, for example. And once somebody wants to create a task, you can either quote unquote force them to create this task with this template, or you can leave the template available for everybody that needs to use. So what I mean by force, so basically here in ClickUp, on your lists, you can configure your list the following way. So just a quick heads up, we've covered tasks and we've covered subtasks. Now we're going to cover lists, views, and how to set up your list. So here in the list, there's a few ways to go about it. You can either create a list from templates, which is very useful, just to get a better understanding of how the platform works, or you can just create a list from your head, right? You can just come up with the information, and what you'll do is here you can add the statuses of the list. You can use custom statuses. You can select from a specific template. All right, and this is typically what I use to create tasks, and I'm gonna explain to you why. So basically, I have here as not started as being an open task, and then because I always add a deadline, you can set up automations on your end so that whenever the task it's like at the start date hits, you can move it to in progress, or let's say I have actually a pending status over here. So when the start date it comes through, whoa, it just glitched. I don't know if you guys saw it, but let's see if it works this time. So let's say if you have a task with a start date, let me just show you like from my actual list that it's working. The pending status will start when the start date it's due, right? So you can set up this automation, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This is when the task is in progress. I typically ask my team to track time, and one of the tools that I ask them to use is the ClickUp automatic time tracking. It's free, and basically what it does is whenever you land on a task, you can press Command Shift X to start tracking your time, or it also starts tracking time automatically. So you can have a better understanding from your teams and on how they're like spending their time and the tasks they're consuming the highest amount of time. It's not 100% perfect because sometimes people forget to stop the timer, but it's somewhat useful to better understand where your team's efforts going. So going back to this is how you can set up a list. There's some blocks over here where it's like not started. It just basically tasks that are still open. Active are tasks that are like in the progress of being done. Done are tasks that were completed, and closed are tasks that were just closed because the completion went through successfully. Everything is working. So I like to have both. If you want to learn more about statuses, you can either hover here, and just the difference between completed and closed is that the closed tasks, they are automatically removed from your list. So for example here, if I'm looking at these tasks over here, you can see that I don't really see the closed tasks, but if I go on customized, and then where is it? You can click here to see the closed tasks, and then you're gonna see all the information that is showing. All right, and then here you can also modify your list view to see lists with empty statuses. You can wrap the tags, you can pin the list description, you can show the tasks locations, you can show the closed tasks, closed subtasks, tasks in multiple lists. So you can play around with whatever suits you best to make sure it's like exactly what you're looking for. And then once you modify this, you can save as a filter. So right, like you can see here that they show the save, the view has its unsaved changes. So I like to just save this view if I need it, but if not, I just don't save. So that it's basically a good use case. Another good use case for the list itself, as I was sharing, is creating the templates, and you can set a default template for your list. So let's say, for example, you have a list that all the tasks that are being created on that list, you want to follow the simple outcome template that we have just built to guarantee there's a certain level of quality, expectations, the way that the task is being built suits your needs. So you can set that simple outcome focus task as the task template, and whenever you create a task here, you will see that there is an option. So let me just show you again. There is an option here that it will automatically overwrites and show the information on the task template, so the person creating the task, they can follow the instructions to create the perfect request for whoever is executing on this task, right? So there's no like miscommunication in terms of what's needed. And then the other thing that it's important to understand in terms of list and list customization, it's the views. So basically what you can do here is, as you dial in your list, you can analyze the list in different ways. So just so you know, this is basically seeing the same tasks, in different ways. And then you can customize your list, your groups over here. So if you want to group by priority, high priority, normal priority, etc. If you want to group by assignee, which person's executing on which task, you can just modify this here. The box, it's just showing you like how many tasks each person's doing, what's like their tank, like in this specific list. The calendar, it shows like what are the tasks that are either being delivered that day or being posted that day if you're doing like content. Table is just another way to view the list as a table, and then a dashboard just simply shows you the information on the task, easily digestible. So typically I don't really focus on creating multiple views inside a list. What I like to do is create a folder that it's self-managed. That's how I like to think about, and I'm going to show you an example here. Basically, we were onboarding and offboarding a lot of sales reps for our business, and I needed to figure out a way to buy back my time, streamline the process, and delegate the things that I'm doing. So basically I've created this folder, and inside the folder I've created a document that we're going to cover documents. But so whenever someone goes into this folder, they can see exactly what needs to do, or what are the playbooks, the processes, etc. The dashboard that basically shows them all the stats that are showing. I also add a Loom video explaining how to use the dashboard, and then you can see like all the stages, how many people are active on the calendars and all that stuff. And then another thing that I think it's useful here is I create a list for the people on how to create the tasks. So it's like as if it's a library with the SOPs. So the onboarding process, it would be here. I think I haven't really finalized this, but I can show you an example of like a finalized version. So let's say whenever I'm onboarding a person that needs to perform specific tasks, I have like a list here with all the processes that they can watch and better understand what needs to be done. So imagine how easy it is when you have everything organized to onboard new employees, and what are the use cases of lists. Lists can be used to create tasks, to manage requests, to onboard new reps, new members of your team. So this is just like some overview on how to use it, and now I just really want to cover like space, folders, and lists, how I would organize the workspace. In the beginning, I kind of share with you how I would go about organizing based on departments, and then within each department you can put folders and lists within the business. So if you think about like coming back to here, if you think about like the finance department, right? And what are if you were to break down the finance as like well, I'm not really a finance guy, so it's kind of hard for me to figure out, but let's just do marketing. So you can break down based on content, based on like funnel building, things along those lines. And then inside the content, imagine you can have in the folder multiple lists that are related to the content building. You can add a document explaining what are the content guidelines, what are the fonts, the brand colors, the logos, etc. Also, what is the brand voice, all of those things to help people on board. And then you can also add a dashboard that shows you like how many videos are being produced, how many videos are in review, what is the average time it takes to produce a long form video, a short form video, who is doing more of the tasks, who is doing less. So you can organize based on this, and then if you have some trouble on getting started, my main recommendation would be, let's say if you want to create a space from scratch, let's just go to the other ClickUp. If you want to create a space from scratch, what you can do is just like you can go on templates here and you can browse the templates, and that is going to give you a good idea of how to get started. And you can also filter here based on, well, complexity and use cases, but you can see here that it's like there's a lot, so that's why I think it could get a little bit heavy. But for example, on the financing side, you can see that what ClickUp does is it gives you exactly how to organize your platform, right? So if you think about if you were to create a marketing space, right? It is showing you exactly the folders in the marketing space that you can create. Obviously, depending on how big is your business, you may not need all these folders, right? You can just put it all into one. But if you have like a solid business and you're just looking to organize your brand to grow without you, this is basically showing you all the actual folders that you need to have in your business based on your use cases. So let's say, for example, you have a A/B testing folder, and then you just put like A/B testing. And basically when you create from a template, it takes a little bit, but it's gonna show you like a good way just to organize it already, right? And then it can show you the conversion rates, and then as you can see, there is a board view where it shows all the requests, the priorities, where it's basically filtering based on the priorities of the requests. the schedule that is showing you like what is the tasks that you're going to be doing, the lists. And then if you think about like, there is the title, but what you can add here on top of it, it's the simple outcome focused task template that will show you like, here's the assets that you need to test this page. Here's how you create the A/B test, etc. To really help, streamline this. And then imagine like, for example, here that you have built all of your folders inside the marketing tab. And then what you can do is you can create a form that if the team, I'm just going to show you on a paid account. Let's say, for example, you have the marketing folder here, and then what you can do is you can create a form that if, let's say, your team wants to submit A/B testing requests, it can just be on a form like this, and then you can just do like marketing request form, and then here you can put like the task name, the description, the priority, the start date, the due date, the attachment. If you don't really have a delegation system like from the other departments to your marketing department, you can leave this as that there. And then imagine like you have this, and then you can also create custom fields. They're like the folder names, which is like what type of marketing you need. You need a design, you need an A/B test, you need a campaign, you need, a blog post, whatever. And then inside the actual folder, you can create the automations of like, whenever a form, actually you can do that through ClickUp. I think you just have to do it through, you can do it, but I would do it through Zapier, because basically what you can do is like, you can create this form, and then whenever is created, what will happen is you can go to a specific list that you would like, and then from that list it can start streamlining the processes. So typically what we do internally is we have a lot of closers, and they give a lot of like requests, and then we have this tech ticketing system where they submit their request, and then there's all the requests here, and basically inside each type of request there is a task template that we've created to help the person executing these tasks to streamline the process. And then I can see here the number of tickets created, tickets open, resolved, what is the average lead time, meaning like how much time it typically takes to resolve a ticket, what is the quality of the support based on what the person is sharing here. Not a lot of people have been sharing, but you can see here that it's like the number of people, like the tasks assigned to them, the pending tasks. So it gives you a good overview of like the whole operations, right? So in terms of spaces, folders, and lists, organizing your workspace, I think we've shared the best practices in here, share some nice examples over here of how to create a workspace that it's self-managed. You can add an introduction with the SOPs. You can add a dashboard to manage the actual progress on each specific folder. You can add a document with outlining everything in the playbook. And then over here, there will be an overview of the actual list, right? So another thing that it helps, it's also creating custom fields, right? So for example, if let's say you have a specific need for a specific folder, and you need like a custom field created, you can just create them on the list settings by going here and create field. But also if you create a field once on your workspace, you can just import to different lists. So here's just some fields that you can create. It just helps you stay organized and make sure all the assets are on a specific task, right? So we've covered a lot already, but I want to show you how to implement the Eisenhower matrix as well on your business. So imagine you are looking at our business in a high level, and you want to make sure that you're looking at all the tasks that are priorities, all the tasks that are not priorities, etc. So you're constantly realigning your business. One thing that you can do is you can go to the everything tab, and then you can start filtering your tasks, right? So you can start filtering based on the specific lists that you want to analyze, right? So let's say, for example, I just want to put like this list here, this folder here, and then so actually just gonna put like this two here, and then I want to put like the priority of the task, it's urgent or it's high, and then the tag is important. All right, so basically what we're doing is we want to build the Eisenhower matrix over here. So we want to create the fields, the views here, and you can do for all of your workspaces whatever you prefer. All right, so you can just select for everybody here, for everything, and then you're gonna be able to see, right, everything that it's marked as urgent or high important, high priority or urgent, and that is very important. And then you can, once that's done, you can just save this view, and what will happen is you will have all your saved views over here. And if you want to just check everything that it's due now, schedule, delegate, based on the Eisenhower matrix, you can just create this as pinned views, and from there you can better understand where your team and what are the priorities, realign the priorities, or just execute on them. So this creates a crystal clear view of what to do on your business. And also another thing that it's very helpful is understanding the inbox. So the importance of tagging yourself in the tasks and creating the task templates is because it's going to allow you to have visibility of the tasks in the inbox folder. So the inbox is basically going to show you all the information or everything that it's happening on your account that you've been tagged or that you have created. And then you can just, based on this information, just go here, analyze what has been done, what the time is tracked, what is the priority, and then better understand, like, if you just need to clear this, if you need to react, to reply to the person, to remove, I ended up removing from my inbox, to create, just mark it as red, or just snooze this for later in the day. So this gives you a good way of streamlining your operations, and just make sure that, let's say, for example, if your goal is to clear your task inbox per day, this is going to help you just make sure you are super organized. And then another thing is the documents. I haven't really covered them in depth, but basically the documents in and of itself, like, they are useful, but I think the best use case for documents is to actually create them attached to a specific folder, a specific list, and then you can also leverage templates to create the documents. So right here in ClickUp, they have a good amount of templates that you can use. So let's say, for example, you're having meetings with your clients and things along those lines. What I typically do is I create a folder that it's like client X meetings, and let's say weekly meetings. And then I just create subfolders here. And then what I do is just I put like the date, the weekly meeting, and then I have a meeting template over here. And you can also use AI, like create a meeting template with the outcome to go over the most important tasks and progress made on a week. And then it's gonna help you just create everything. And you can use this just to stay organized, because with ClickUp AI, the more data you put in the platform, the more likely you're gonna be to help a business that is kind of running in and of by itself, right? Because you can just add all the information here, and then imagine like someone gets offboarded and they're going to start working with this client. What they can do is basically they can come here, they can ask AI all the information about the document, what are the client's concerns, what are the best projects, what are the wins, the points of improvement, and all that stuff. So it's very useful. Another use case is, let's say I like creating playbooks, and the playbooks basically allow you to better onboard people on your team. And whenever you have a playbook, you can attach the playbook to a specific folder. So let's say, for example, you have a marketing folder that is creating ad campaigns. You can create a campaign creation playbook and then add all the information there. So whenever you're hiring a media buyer, they can know what were the best performing campaigns, the best performing headlines, etc., how you guys scale campaigns, etc. If you don't have that and you don't know how to do it, as long as you know how to create a playbook, you can have the person that you have hired create a playbook for you following the instructions that you have. All right, so that's also a good thing to keep in mind. So that is that for documents. I think they're very helpful. One thing that is still missing in ClickUp, it's the ability to create documents through their API, but hopefully they're gonna be able to do that soon. So we've covered Workspace, lists, subtasks, tasks, templates. Another thing that I want to share with you here, it's like the dashboards, where you can see all of your dashboards from one view, right? Which it helps you have a better understanding of your business, and you can favorite specific dashboards. So for example, here I have if I'm using the Chrome extension to automatically track everyone's time, I can just create a time tracking dashboard that just selects all the folders. And then once I create this, I can see how much time each person is spending on each task. So you can see the time tracked, the tasks that are being created. For some reason, it's just showing like no notes. ClickUp's a little weird sometimes, but it's still there is an importance here where you can see like everybody's activity on the platform. And then another thing that I like to look here, it's also the team view for everything, and because I can just look at everybody's and see like how many tasks they have open, how many tasks they have pending, how many tasks they have in review. And then if you do a lot of customization for your clients, you can actually, use this to your benefit, because you can start delegating more tasks to the people that have already completed all of their tasks, right? So that is that. There's also clips and apps, which you can just use this to like record the videos and stuff like that. It replaces Loom, but I don't really use it. I prefer using Loom because ClickUp doesn't really record this in the URL, meaning like if you get rid of ClickUp, you got rid of all your SOPs. So I much rather have it in the URL that at least it's available to me on the cloud, regardless of the project management platform that I use. Another important thing that you can do here in ClickUp, it's creating your goals. I don't use goals that much, but like if I were to use them, I would put like all the goals based on a SMART goal template over here, which is basically like, let's say you want to have goals that are specific, tangible, measurable, attainable, and time bound. And what you can do, it's like you can create these goals over here based on the vision that you have for your business. So let's say, for example, have 20K subscribers by August 2024. And then I can just do like owner, and then the workspace, and then the end goal. I just put like, I can just do like here as well, August 2024, the description. And then once I put this here, you can create a goal, and then you can create the targets, which are basically you're breaking down the goals into pieces. So you can either do monthly targets, weekly targets, And if you break down, let's say you want to get 1,000 subscribers a week, so 1,000 subs. And then you want to put the owner here. You can put like a range, right? And then you can just create these targets over here. So whenever you want to update this, you can just save it, and then it would track the goal, and then it would show like how close or how far are you from reaching your goal. And you can just have all your company's goals like managed in the platform, which I think it's useful. I just don't use that much, but it's a thing that it's also available in the platform. All right, so I think I've covered a good amount of information on how to use the platform to your benefit. By the end of this video, if you watch the whole thing, you've literally understood behind the scenes, how do I keep everything organized to manage a massive operations? How do I split the ClickUp based on the departments to create like the playbooks with the documents, the lists that has all the SOPs to onboard somebody, and how to break down the company based on the Eisenhower matrix. One very important thing that I actually didn't record the other video, and I want to make sure I ended the video sharing, is the apps. How are you gonna get there? Basically, you're gonna go to Workspace and Apps and App Center. I'm gonna show you the two apps that I use the most. So basically, I use the Slack app a lot. I don't really use the Google Calendar because mostly the tasks that you create are gonna go as busy in your calendar, and if you're booking calls, that's gonna create a mess because then nobody's gonna be able to schedule calls with you. And the other app that I use a lot is the Chrome extension. So how cool is that? So basically here in the Chrome extension, if I am on my email or my something, like I'm just looking around and like creating something over here, I can just come from, just from here. I can either track time, record my screen, take screenshot, whatever, but create a task. Typically I just use the created task information, and then you can just put the information here, and then create a task. Never forgetting to set the due dates and the assigned person. All right, so Chrome extension, it's next level. And then Slack. I want to show you how I use Slack, and I need to get something that is just not freaking oh my gosh, let me just like use this. So basically in Slack, very good feature that you can use just to streamline your operations is you can either use ClickUp new, and then it is going to create a task automatically, and then you can put on a specific list over here, and what that will do is then you can select the assignees, you can select the status, you can select the priority, and guess what? You can select the tags. So you can then build your Eisenhower matrix from everywhere on ClickUp, outside of ClickUp, Google Chrome extension, and then the due date. So must do's, they're not option, they're mandatory according to my perspective. And then another cool thing is that like, hey, can you do this? Can you create this task for me, please? Whenever someone sends you a message that you want to transform into a task, with the ClickUp app in Slack, you can just go here and create the task, and then it's going to give you the description. Obviously, it's not going to give you the template that we've built, but at least it's going to give you like the context from where that message came from, and it's an easy way not to forget to do things when you're managing your day-to-day on Slack. So these were the two things that I forgot. I'm just going to add it in the video. Another thing, I want to pull up Zapier real quick to show you how you can then set up the recurring tasks that you want somebody on your business to execute based on the task templates that you have built. So I do this a lot, and it's very helpful. And basically what I do is, depending on I always divide my tasks based on triggers, processes, and outcomes. And depending on the trigger, if it's a recurring trigger or if it's a form-based trigger, etc., I create a specific task in ClickUp that I then delegate to somebody. So for example, here I have a folder in ClickUp that has recurring tasks, and basically like to manage the payout of the closers, to do compliance updates to the team, to do a monthly forecast. The way that I set up is I did the monthly forecast process. I have recorded myself doing everything, put it in the simple outcome focused task template, and then basically by a certain date I need the forecast built. And I have set up this automation here in ClickUp that basically runs every month. I create the task, and then the thing is that you can create the task based on the template, and then I update the task to make sure it has the specific assigned person, the specific due date. You can use like natural language, I don't know how to say it, but like friggin' you could just put like +1 month, +1 day, etc. to kind of create the deadlines. And then I send this person a Slack message just saying like, hey, it's time to do the forecast, let me know if you can do this. So as you can see, like the goal here with ClickUp, it's to think about how to streamline your deliverables, how to streamline the processes of your businesses that you're currently doing. You're not happy about the fact that you're doing them. You want to focus on other things, and you just want to make sure you're not losing the quality, right? So organize the company into departments, leverage the templates, create simple task outcome focused templates, organize based on the Eisenhower matrix, create your dashboards, create your views, and then start thinking about how you create the triggers for the tasks that you need to be done. And then start delegating these tasks with a clear outline of how to do so with Zapier, based on a recurring basis, based on a farm submission basis, based on a specific trigger. And buy back your time, organize your life with ClickUp, and you're just gonna really completely transform your business or whoever businesses you're working with. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, subscribe, comment below, and I hope to see you on the next one.